So, welcome. Good morning. You all made it. I'm so impressed. Um, it's nice to see your faces. And we're just going to go ahead and get started this morning. So, bring your hands to your anchor points. You can bring a hand to belly, hand to the chest, or hand to the chest and the head, or both hands on the head, kind of a nape of the neck and the front of the forehead. And these are just nice points to connect with the body, give yourself a little support and like a self hug this morning. And from whatever anchor points you choose, check in with the palms of the hands. Just notice, what's the sensation like beneath my right palm? And what's the sensation like beneath my left palm? And then keeping your hands where they are or bringing them down onto your legs. Begin to check in with the chest, the abdomen, noticing the sensation of belly rising and belly falling, belly rising and belly falling. We notice, even if it's not your own habit, allowing air in to the belly like you're filling a balloon when you inhale. So inhaling, letting the belly fill, and exhaling, pushing out the air, belly contracts. And if that's new or uncomfortable this morning, just bring in a little bit of air and release a little bit of air. Sometimes we think about taking a big breath in, and that's not always what our body needs, especially in the morning. So, giving ourselves permission just to take in a little sip, a little expansion, and a little push, a little contraction. And starting to bring in a pause in between your inhales and exhales. Inhaling, pausing, holding, exhaling, pausing, holding, and continue at your own pace. And begin to notice where that lands in your body. So, are there any areas in the chest, arms, the legs, or the head that are still a little bit contracted or that are shifting as we move through our breath work. Can we continue to invite in comfort today? Making a note of where we might be holding stress in our body. And give ourselves permission to become 10% more comfortable. Just letting go 10% more. Coming back as you're ready to natural breathing. No worry about creating a space between the inhales and the exhales. And as you're ready, gently opening the eyes and bringing gentle fists to the shoulders. So dropping the thumb into the palm and putting the fingers over the palm. And we're going to inhale, release the arms up, and exhale, pull energy down. And as we inhale, you're going to open your hands and then exhale, bringing them down. So inhaling, exhaling, and go for 10 rounds at your own pace. And as you finish, bring some stillness in the body. Gently scan from the feet, up through the legs, belly and the chest. Noticing the hands, the arms, shoulders and the neck and the head. Any sensations that you might be noticing. And whenever you're ready, prepare for 10 more rounds. But this time on your inhale, push out discomfort and pull in more comfort in your body. So whatever might be holding on to, just send it out with your inhale, and on your exhale, pull in more of what you'd like. Just go for 10 rounds at your own pace. And if you'd like to bring some gentle taps to your forehead or your head, just begin using the fingers to tap the head. Noticing anywhere that might be sensitive or full of energy, and just allowing the taps to equalize that energy. Can bring it down into your jaw. If you have allergies, this is a good place to relieve some of the pressure in the sinuses. So that could be in the eyebrows or the cheekbones. And don't be afraid to yawn. That increases the cerebrospinal fluid in the head and the neck. Makes us feel more like ourselves. And bring the tapping into the neck, maybe into the shoulders, crossing the arms across the center line of the body, encouraging both sides of the body to talk to each other. And then slowly make your way back up through the throat and the neck, the jaw, up to the top of the head in your own time. We're getting some more yawns. And then when you're ready, use one hand to just tap in the center line of the head, kind of like we're bringing all the sensations and the whole body together just at one point, kind of bringing them back together for a little bit of focus and clarity of sensation. Just tapping the center line of the skull. And then as you're ready, release the hand back down onto the legs or onto your anchor point. If that was at all overwhelming, like I know when I did the breathing, I kind of felt a little bit dizzy in my head, then it's good to come to your anchor points. But if not, if you feel like, you're quite grounded in your body, then you might want to release your hands down onto the legs. And sitting for a few moments, asking ourselves the question, how can I bring more comfort into my life? Similar theme from last week. Maybe reflecting on what's one thing that I did last Tuesday to make myself feel a little better? Or was I aware of bringing in more self care during the last week? And what comes up for me that I might need this week? And as you sit, you might notice that you have a gentle propensity to bring a little bit of rocking into the body, continuing to let things settle and tap into those sensations that are already there. And we'll stay for 2 more minutes, welcoming in more insights for comfort in your day. Gently begin to deepen the breath, taking a full inhale, low belly rises. And as you're ready, open your eyes and join us back. And if you have your any kind of notebook and paper or pen, pencil, just jot down anything that you noticed. Can maybe first be physical, trying to connect in with the wisdom of the body, and just spend a moment writing down, what did I notice in my body? And begin to ask ourselves the question, how can I bring in more care this week? Maybe starts with something small today, something for yourself. And for kind of our mini lesson today, um, I was asked a really good question on a program on Sunday. And um, a participant said, In different cultures, there are different ideas of letting go. And it seems like in a Western mindfulness practice, we always talk about letting go. But how does that relate culturally? So she was um, Latina, and she said, like, I don't resonate with this idea as strongly as what I'm hearing. And it made me think of a story that came up when I was teaching in South Africa with women in Durban, South Africa. And they have the practice of using um, sangomas, which are healers, spiritual healers, to rid the mind of darkness or like dark forces. And these women were scared to participate in a mindfulness practice because they thought if you empty your head, it leaves space for darker forces. And so, actually, culturally, they want to keep their head full of things, the things that they can control, because at least they know what those things are and they're welcoming in specific things. So, the idea of letting go or making space wasn't really appealing. And I said, yeah, I can totally understand that. And actually, the mindfulness that I teach is related to knowing what's there in the moment and then trusting that the body has a natural integration and letting go mechanism that we are wired for if we give ourselves comfort and space to do so. So that's a complicated way of saying we don't have to have the intention necessarily of letting go if we get really curious about what is non judgmentally in the present moment. And so this practice is just coming back to what is. So helpful to journal what is coming up in my body? How can I bring more care into my life? And then naturally, as a result, you'll find that some things start to, let's say, shift, maybe not even let go, maybe more space is created, or maybe something comes in to replace that space. But I want to suggest that you don't always have to have the intention of letting go. Sometimes the things you're holding on to give you joy, or sometimes they give you safety, and that's okay. So today, I wanted the last question to be, what's a challenge that's arising for you? So something maybe that is just arising in this moment, in this day, or something that's consistently come up um, in the past few weeks. What is present in terms of challenge for you right now? So we'll take 2 or 3 minutes and just see what comes up when you write it down, or even as you're sitting, just asking yourself, what challenge is coming up for me? And try not to overwhelm yourself, maybe just one. Welcome, Laura. We're just reading our third journal prompt, which is what challenge is coming up for you right now in your life. And you can write about that or just think about it. Gonna get my phone here because there's a song that's coming up for me based on what I was thinking about this challenge and the next activity that we're gonna do. And I would play it, but I feel like sometimes it's less than relaxing to have music playing through Zoom. So I'll just um, tell you what it is, and then if you want to look it up on Spotify or something today, you can. Um, So it's called Put Down What You're Carrying by Trevor Hall and Brett Dennen. I'll put it in the chat. So when I heard that song, I really resonated with it. It says over and over, put down what you are carrying, put down what you are carrying. And again, that doesn't mean that you have to let it go, but just put it down for a moment and see how it feels. So let's imagine that challenge kind of in the ball of our hands and bring it up above our head. You guys know by now I like this one. It's called Setting Down the World. And we're going to kind of pop out our chest a little bit and pull into our hands so we can feel that opening in our chest and our shoulders. And imagine the challenge that you have in this circle here. It can be in your hands or it can be behind your head. Just imagine it building and kind of clear. It's got a shape of a circle and it's just all right there. And then whenever you're ready, push, push, pull, pull, and then gently set down what you're carrying. And imagine it lifting. Maybe it completely floats away, or maybe it just becomes a little bit less dense. And sit and notice how that feels. And then come back. Maybe clasp your hands in the opposite direction. It's a good little mind bender for the morning. And again, imagine that challenge in that circle between the hands. Let it build with the tension. Pull strongly. If you're anything like me and have a lot of tension in your shoulder blades, you really feel this one. And as you're ready, set down what you are carrying. And notice if you can invite in any mantra, intention, or positive I statement might come up in face of this challenge. And then to make sure that it's not living too strongly in our body, we're going to stand up and shake it out a little bit. So if you want to bring your feet a little bit wider than hips width, and let the hands swing from side to side, and go ahead and let them relax enough so they actually hit the body. And maybe I will try to play this song and send me a chat if it seems terrible on your speaker system, but we'll play the song and do the swinging and just stay with the swinging. And you can always slow it down or speed it up. Get the legs into it. Let the heels come up. You bend the knees if you want. All of it out of your mind. I know you know it's time to put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down, put down, put down. Put down what you are. If you just want to bring in some shaking, hands up or down. Put down what you are carrying. Put down, put down, put down. Don't you go to war with yourself. It don't look good on you. And bending over, shaking, forward fold. You go to war with yourself. You got other things to do now. Let go, let go, let go of everything holding you down. And go 10 seconds of vigorous shaking, really get out anything. And come back to swinging. Put down, put down, put down, put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down, put down, put down. You better lay down your own. You better lay down your feet. You better lay down your feet. Don't let yourself at home. Don't you call yourself no sleep. No fear. Put down what you are carrying. And gently start to make a transition back to seated or even lying on the ground. All right, so welcome back. Just sitting for a moment, noticing what's everything like in the body and the mind since you first joined this morning. Can you notice from head to toe and toe to head what sensations, what thoughts and emotions might be coming up? Bring the neck into it. Give some gentle neck rolls. Yesterday in a class, I learned a little alteration to twist, which I really liked. So normally when we twist, we keep our arms down and kind of push on our legs. But try to bring your right arm out to the side and then bring it back to where you can feel it in your shoulder. And then let the twist be guided by this arm. So kind of still stay straight in the core, but notice, can you bring that arm back and let the neck and the chest follow? And you could raise and lower the arm behind you. Notice if that gives any sensation, different sensations. And then come back through center. Let the left arm release behind you. And you can get a little bit more anchoring by bringing your right hand to your leg and pushing that gently down. Good, and let's do it each one more time each side. And take any other movements, stretches that you might need. All right, and now I'm gonna open up a little bit for questions and sharing. So anything that you might have noticed, anything that might be coming up as a challenge, um, anything even beyond this morning that you might want a tool or just some kind of support around. And I'll stop recording.